it's emotional, but you walk away with the silver medal, which is an incredible accomplishment. Can you take any pride in that?
No. I don't like to lose.
I know it's emotional, but you walk away with the silver medal, which is an incredible accomplishment. Can you take any pride in that?
No. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose.
Pride in that.
No. I don't like to lose.
Okay, Shakur. Time for you to pack it up. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. Just like Tupac, just like Shakur Stevenson, crying, his tongue hanging out his mouth, wrapped around his head, dragging across his scalp, snot slinging all over the place during an interview. He doesn't like to lose. Well, guess what, people? He doesn't like to mash up, crash up either. All this talk about retiring from the sport of boxing. Hold your horses, Shakur Stevenson. You got one of the biggest mouths in boxing for someone who hasn't done a whole lot yet. A lot of potential to do some great things. But what's going on here with Shakur? I'm going to tell you this. I don't know 100%, but and I don't claim to be smarter than a fifth grader, but I have a good idea what's happening with old Shakur ready to pack it up and quit boxing. First of all, a couple of things. He's 26 years old. What the hell are you doing talking about retiring at age 26? You haven't been through no wars to be retiring early. You're not Fernando Vargas. You're not Francisco Bajado. You ain't been through nothing yet, champ. 21 wins. And looked great in all of his fights except for the De Los Santos fight. All you gotta do is just come on back. 10 of those wins by KO. We know Shakur doesn't like the mash-up, crash-up. Proved it in his fight with De Los Santos. He got hit with the Dominican Bing Bing. And Shakur went all straight, assholes and elbows. He started running around the ring. Don't get me wrong, I thought Edwin De Los Santos could have done a bit more, but, the bottom line is Shakur wasn't trying to stand in the pocket to prove no points because he felt that Dominican Bing Bing. He didn't want to get hit with that no more. But for someone who's always out here talking, look, if you can dish it out, you got to be able to take it. And if you already know, I've been saying this forever, Twitter is the most toxic place when it comes to social media. And Twitter Stevenson seems to like hanging out on Twitter, insulting people, being disrespectful to people, saying horrible things to people. I guess the toxic comments and posts that he makes, or toxic tweets, I guess it's come back to bite him because nobody has cut him any slack. And I personally think it's taking a toll on him. That stuff messes with you mentally, man. But if you can dish it out, you got to be able to take it. Nobody wants to hear this retiring crap. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? He's going to retire to do what? Now, I have a feeling, because of his last performance, maybe some doors closed on him. Maybe some opportunities are passing him by. Because this is how boxing works, right? Just from what I've seen, and I truly believe this to be the case here. With Edgar Berlanga, right? And I'm going to talk about Top Rank. And because Edgar Berlanga's situation was recent. Edgar Berlanga was on fire, wasn't he? What was his first 16 fights, 16 knockouts? on fire, on fire. Then what happened? He had a couple missteps. The knockout streak was gone. He looked vulnerable. He was getting hurt. He bit somebody. And then Top Rank said, you know what? We're going to take control of the situation now because we've invested in you. So you're going to do things our way. Berlanga didn't like that. He felt like, nah, man, I'm ready to fight Canelo right now. We all know Canelo, even right now, I think would tranquilize Berlanga. But especially back then, when Edgar Berlanga was still with Top Rank, he wasn't ready for no goddamn Canelo. But anyway, he didn't like the way Top Rank wanted to move him. Top Rank wanted to protect their investment. Berlanga wants to do things his way. He ended up going to Metro. Got paid some good money. Not so sure Eddie Hearn made a good investment in Berlanga. Because Edgar Berlanga still, I think Berlanga loses to Diego Pacheco, and I think he loses to Jaime Munguia. But, you know, that's my opinion. But then you look at Shakur Stevenson. He's kind of traveling down a similar path to Berlanga, to where this whole hype train around him and being the best, the most skilled fighter in boxing today, the most promising boxer, true boxer. That's all gone out the window. So when it comes to Top Rank, they're looking at Shakur. They got to protect their investment. But at the same time, his contract's coming up, and he's been talking about whether he's going to stay, if he's going to leave. He's been saying all kind of stuff. And that performance, although he picked up that WBC strap, that's not the kind of performance to make Top Rank want to keep you. Shakur Stevenson, man, I don't know who's guiding him. But, I mean, nobody can control what he says. But he's young, he's emotional, and sometimes you say things. You know, I was that age once. Yeah, he ain't nothing compared to me when it comes to, you know, chip on the shoulder and hot-headedness, you know. But what I will say is, why would somebody want to get behind a kid, a boxer, who they put money into, right? Remember, Top Rank has gone through so much with athletes, especially black athletes, you know. People saying that Bob Arum is a racist, all kind of craziness. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not over there. I'm not privy to what's being said or what's happening, how people are being treated. But you see, Bob, I think Bob made a deliberate effort to really put Shakur out there, to put Keyshawn Davis out there, to put Jared Miller, to put them three out there on the same card. To say, you know what, we don't want the perception to be that we have an issue with minorities. These are our fighters, our investments, and we're not like that. So to see Shakur come full circle now and want to leave Top Rank and talk about his contract and what he's gonna do, and he run around here like he's Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man. Gets in there with De Los Santos and the shit doesn't quite work out. And now I feel that, you know, kind of in a very uncomfortable position because maybe some people don't want to really deal with him. See, the thing is, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But at the same time, you know, makes me wonder if the secret society done got to him. Kind of poked him up a little bit and made him uncomfortable. Because you can't mess with these sanctioning bodies. You can't mess with Bob Arum. Bob Arum, let me tell you something. There's a reason why Bob Arum is still doing what he's doing this long. Y'all think Bob Arum don't have nothing to do with the goddamn secret society? That man's still out here going stronger than ever at his age. Because Bob Arum played the game. And he knew who to pay, what to do. This stuff I'm telling you, I'm not making this shit up. You can look up the stuff. Bob Arum been involved in all kind of scandals. But bottom line is, you can't come out here disrespecting Bob Arum like he needs you. Bob Arum don't need no damn Shakur Stevenson. And the problem is, no other promoter is gonna want him. Why would somebody want to sign him? The bottom line is, promoters, boxing fans, the secret society, sanctioning bodies, They want fighters who are getting there, like Manny Pacquiao said, go toe-to-toe and deliver a mashup crasher. They want knockouts. They want to see violence. They don't want nobody in there like Shakur Stevenson floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, and going assholes and elbows just when they get bing-binged. Now, as far as what's next for Shakur, look, I think the Southpaw will be back. Okay? But the problem is, when you got a 48% KO ratio, look, that's not really great. At least if you're going to be in there outboxing opponents, be able to stay in the pocket, slip shots, catch, shoot, do stuff like Floyd Mayweather was able to do. Do stuff like a prime Zab Judah was able to do, a prime Chop Quali was able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, do stuff that gets people up out their seats. Because for Shakur Stevenson, you got to understand, there's no moving down the ladder now. There's no reversing. My man, you're a WBC champion. You've got to scrap at 135. You're going to be in there with some guys who can touch you up. And this whole thing about, this moving around the ring, running around the ring, you got to stand and let your hands go. I'm not saying he's got to be stupid and go out there and do like Devin Haney did against Linares to try to show that he has power and get your ass hurt. That's not what I'm saying. But but at the same time, you have to let your hands go. You can't be breaking records for the least amount of punches thrown and shit. Like, that's not good. I don't know. He just fought a couple months ago, so he's okay to say he's retired and take another 3 months off, because that's about the window anyway, man. Get back 2 times a year. Should be fighting 3 times a year, but I'll tell you what, he better be careful talking that retirement talk, because the WBC will take that off his hands, make him champion in recess. That's not what he wants, because it'd be hard to get that. He already missed out on the opportunity to fight for Undisputed at 135. Now he come talking this craziness about retiring. And then if they decide to take that belt off of him, so he would have missed an opportunity for 4 belts. Then he happened to pick up 1, and then he can lose that. Who's advising this guy? But that being said, he got to figure it out, because he don't want to be a Bob Arum anymore, and he wants to retire. Look, Bob Arum had that guy fighting around every 5th month. That is crazy in this day and age, for him to be fighting about a little over twice a year. You know how hard it is for fighters? You look out here, some of these guys haven't fought in years, and they want to fight. They can't. It's crazy, man. But we'll see what happens with him and making a mandatory defense of that WBC belt. Like, I don't care what he's saying about retiring. I could care less about that. Working on his craft and looking at the next generation. All right, it all sounds good. He'll be back in the ring. But the bottom line is this. He better be careful for how many days he goes without defending that belt, because the WBC's not going for the BS. Also, he's got to understand, at this point where he's at in his career, he's only going to be dealing with guys who are going to push for the mashup crashup. The whole world knows now that he doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't like getting hit, and he can't stand there and fight inside. His whole thing is controlling the distance, controlling the range, and picking you apart. And once you put pressure on him or you bing him, and he feels that shit, he don't like it. Simple. He about to be 27 years old. Right? So these guys can't afford to be. I just don't understand these guys who have the opportunity to fight more than twice a year. Go out here and start talking this crap about retirement. And, like, why play this game? You know what I'm saying? If it works out to his benefit, great. But what if it doesn't? Okay? Somebody was talking about, oh, Devin Haney's going to fight Boots Ennis, then Shakur should fight Boots Ennis. Shakur Stevenson, the 135 is about the furthest I think he can go. I just don't think he has the power to get up there and mess with these 140 pounders. So 135 is it for him. his reach isn't even 70 inches, you know what I mean? His reach is like 68 inches. He has a Regis Prograis type arms. So he's going to struggle when he gets up there with some of these guys. Like him and Devin Haney, I think is a good fight, but I think Devin Haney gets him. I don't care what he said about when they sparred. Devin Haney's just too much reach. I think Stevenson will have some problems. But anyway, we'll see what he does next. He's called out Gervonta, called out Devin. Want to fight Lomachenko. Said Top Rank's protecting Lomachenko. Don't want him to fight Lomachenko. You know, you got Joe Cordina, then you got Rolly out there, which I think Rolly and Shakir is a kind of fight where I don't know how that will go. I think Tank beats him. I think Haney beats him. Lomachenko, I think, is an interesting fight. Joe Cordina, I'm not sure. Rolly just switched his trainer. He's no longer with Bullet. So I don't know. Rolly may be a good opportunity for him to go and try to pluck off, but after Rolly finishes messing around with Pitbull Cruz. But for Shakir, I just being honest with you, I just think if he's going to keep moving up the ladder, he's going to take a loss. Depending on who he fights, he's going to take a loss, especially somebody who can bing him. Because he can box, he can evade punches. He's a brilliant fighter. But if he has someone who touches him up and will keep that pressure on him, he's going to run. He's not going to let his hands go enough. He's going to get behind the scorecards and he's going to lose. Simple. Okay? So as of right now, no fight scheduled for him. We'll see what's planned for him. I think if he was to go and become a free agent, I think there'd be, I think some people would be a little bit interested, but I think they'd be very apprehensive about signing him. Why would you want to sign someone who obviously doesn't want to put on an entertaining fight? They just want to win, which winning is the most important thing. But you want entertainment. You want ticket sales, right? And then someone who's showing some disloyalty to Top Rank because they have took him from the Olympics and helped to build him to where he is now. They're keeping him busy, and he's making very good money. But then he's also talking about retirement. Why would you want to invest in somebody like that? You don't know whether they're coming or going. But that being said, man, he can fight, man. He can get a unanimous decisions. He may get a technical knock here and there. But the bottom line is when he gets in the ring and his fights go to decision, it's unanimous. Like it's like one-sided. But we'll see what the future holds for him. But I'm not buying this retirement stuff. But what I will tell you is, De Los Santos, that was just the wake-up call for him to be in there with somebody who can box and who had power and who had speed. And anything he looks at after De Los Santos, he's going to deal with some of that. You know what I'm saying? I can understand people still favoring Shakur Stevenson, but the reality is this. He's going to deal with some tough fighters, man. It is not going to get any easier for Shakur Stevenson. Let me take a look at something so I can show you what I'm looking at. And let's understand something about Shakur Stevenson and what he has to look forward to. Oh yeah, that's all problems right there. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. Shakur Stevenson, let me make this a little bit larger for you. He's the WBC champ. This man has Lomachenko ranked number 1. We know Lomachenko is going to fight Kambosos. Lomachenko will beat Kambosos, okay. Pitbull Cruz is fighting Ryan. He's not fighting Ryan Garcia. And Pitbull Cruz is fighting Rolly Romero. Then you got Zepeda. So this is what Shakir has to deal with. Zepeda, who's a problem. Morataya, who's a problem. Frank Martin, word is he may be fighting Gervonta, but bottom line is if he doesn't fight Gervonta, you got Frank Martin, who's a problem. He already beat Yoshino. Kambosos don't seem to be an issue. He needs to run it back against De Los Santos. I think Keyshawn Davis is someone that seems like they may never fight because it's supposed to be friends. But the real deal is, for me, is he has all hard fights as far as guys ranked in the WBC. It's all hard fights for Shakir. But the fight he should be trying to get is that De Los Santos fight. That's the fight Shakir needs to go after. And the problem is, we just saw, he don't want the matchup crash up, but also, and when De Los Santos has confidence out of this world now. He's like, okay, cool. If I get the opportunity for that rematch, he gonna go all out. He's going all out, and he gonna try to tranquilize Shakur. And I think I think that would be a bad fight for him to take, even though I think it's the right fight to kind of correct things and have people put him back in a positive space. It's kind of like when Jerron Butsinis fought Shikazi and everybody turned it back on him. Then he came and tranquilized Villa, and everybody's like, wow. Unfortunately for Shakur, it's not a matter of him having fought someone who ran from him, and then he took on a tough guy and knocked him out. No, he took on somebody who Shakur didn't really want to engage, and fans are demanding that he rematches him to kind of regain their support. He doesn't want to do it. That being said, he can do what he wants. Whether he's going to retire or not, only he knows. But one thing I will tell you is there ain't no easy fights out here. Not for Shakur. That WBC rack and stack always has some serious ass names in there, man. Some serious challengers. And I personally think for Shakur Stevenson, he's going to have to figure some things out. Because what you can't be doing out here as a grown man, professional boxer, is trying to worry about the mashup crasher. If you're going to sit here and talk like you the next Floyd Mayweather and all of this crap, you got to be able to get in the ring and take these guys who are big punchers and take away their best assets and dominate them. And right now, I'm not so sure Shakur is that guy. People can say what they want about Mayweather, but when these guys start comparing themselves to him, they need to hold the horse and stop taking to the stupid. Floyd was just crazy. Even Terrence Crawford, crazy. When you see some of these fighters out here, man. Joe Calzaghe was another one, man. Those guys get in the ring, and it's just, you're watching and you're like, yo, what the hell? Like, who's gonna beat him? You know what I'm saying? And with Shakur, he's definitely beatable. And I think what's gonna happen, he's gonna beat himself because he's gonna get in a situation with somebody who can bing him, and he's gonna run too much and move around too much. His output's gonna be too low, and he's gonna lose on a decision. I think that's going to happen to him. But that being said, good luck to Shakur Stevenson. We don't want to hear no more of this.
Pride in that.
No. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose.
Well, that's the risk you take, young Shakur, when you get in there and you're an elite boxer is moving up the ladder. The mashup, crash-up is coming, and losing is part of the game. Better figure it out. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.